Let's dive right into this explainer because we really need to look at exactly why presentation is the absolute deciding factor for Chicagoland real estate agents in today's cutthroat 2026 market. Look, if you're working in this industry, you already know the Chicagoland market is incredibly competitive right now. We're looking at a median home sale price hovering around $365,000, with values appreciating at roughly 4.4% year over year. But here's where it gets interesting. Because inventory is so ridiculously tight, buyers actually have fewer choices. And you'd think that would make them less picky, right? Actually, it's the exact opposite. It makes them vastly more selective about what they even bother to click on. Presentation is no longer just a nice-to-have, it's literally the difference between a listing that flies off the market in a bidding war and one that just sits there gathering digital dust. 85%. That number right there is the foundation of everything we're talking about today. Because before buyers even glance at the price, before they read your beautifully crafted location description, and long before they ever check out your agent reviews, 85% of them prioritize one thing above absolutely all else: the photos. The data shows us that 81% of home buyers already have a crystal clear idea of what they want before they ever even contact an agent. Your listing photos are either confirming that dream for them or eliminating your listing entirely right on the spot. So here's our agenda for today. First, the digital front door. Second, the ROI of presentation. Third, the new professional standard. And fourth, meeting OG optics. Let's get right into it. Section 1, the digital front door, and why bad photos are costing you clients. Let's start by grounding ourselves in the reality of the 2026 Chicagoland market. Inventory is just unbelievably tight right now, creating this severe supply constraint literally across the board. In the suburbs, we're looking at a mere 1.5 months of supply. And in the city itself, it drops down to an astonishing 0.75 months. Because of this massive squeeze, as of April 2026, over 41% of Chicago homes are selling above asking price, with a sale-to-list ratio sitting at 100.19%. What does this actually tell us? It means the sellers who price and present correctly are the ones winning these massive bidding wars. They aren't winning on price alone, they're winning because they generate enough emotional engagement to create absolute frenzy and competition. And you know where that engagement starts? Right here with buyer behavior. A massive 70% of buyers will completely skip listings with low-quality photos. Just skip right past them. Furthermore, buyers spend 60% of their time staring at your photos, and only a measly 20% reading that property description you spent hours drafting. If your first 3 photos are dark, cluttered, or shot from a weird angle on a phone, the buyer is already gone. They didn't call, they didn't schedule a showing. But when you prioritize presentation, well, just look at Arlington Heights. Strong marketing and presentation recently dropped their average market time from a sluggish 70 days down to an incredible 25 days. So the crucial takeaway here is that before a buyer ever steps foot on the physical property, they've already made a deep emotional decision about your listing online. 68% of potential buyers explicitly say that great photos are what made them want to visit a home in person. The physical front door completely ceases to matter if they never actually walk up to it. In 2026, the first showing is entirely digital. Moving on to Section 2, the ROI of presentation. Let's look at the hard numbers on real estate media. When you start treating photography as a powerful investment rather than just some pesky expense, it completely transforms your financial outcomes. Professional photos give you a massive speed advantage. We're talking about selling homes 32% faster. You can take a listing from sitting stale at 123 days down to just 89 days on the market. Also, listings that feature more than 20 high-quality images spend 32 fewer days on the market compared to those with fewer photos. Time is quite literally money in real estate, and professional imagery buys you time. But honestly, it goes way beyond just speed. Redfin research shows that professional photos can close between $3,400 and a staggering $11,200 higher than comparable properties with low-quality images. High-quality imagery can actually lead to a 47% increase in price per square foot. How? Well, high-resolution images can make a home appear 33% larger, which attracts more buyers and drives up the perceived value by as much as 39%. Now, here is where it gets really personal for you, because this financial impact isn't just for your seller. Agents who utilize professional media literally double their average gross commission income compared to those who just whip out their smartphones. Double! It is absolutely no wonder that 78% of agents say professional photography delivers a higher ROI than any other form of advertising. It makes your clients more money, for sure, but it also makes you a lot more money. Yet despite all this overwhelming data we just went through, we see this incredible blind spot in the market. A shocking 65% of agents are still not using professional photographers. Let that sink in. Even more surprising, half of all properties listed above $1 million are still using poor quality photos. This isn't just a missed opportunity on their part, it's a massive competitive liability for them, which creates a wide open competitive gap for you to step right into and completely dominate. Section 3. The new professional standard. What do modern buyers actually expect? So, what exactly separates someone just taking pictures from a true professional listing media package in 2026? A huge part of it comes down to techniques like HDR, or high dynamic range. Without HDR, you know the look. You either get a bright, beautiful window and a completely dark cave of a room, or a well-lit room and a totally washed-out glowing window that just looks incredibly cheap to modern buyers. HDR balances the light from those windows with the interior light to replicate exactly what the human eye naturally sees, and the data proves its worth. Homes with HDR photography sell 50% faster and receive an incredible 118% more online views. The professional media process is actually quite rigorous. A true professional doesn't just document the space, they tell a visual story. First is the foundation, using professional DSLR or mirrorless cameras with wide-angle lenses to show the true scale of rooms without distorting them and making them look like funhouse mirrors. Second is timing. They meticulously plan the shoot around the property's orientation and how natural light moves through the home. And third is execution, doing that heavy HDR processing, color correction, and delivering exactly 25 to 35 final, flawless images. Speaking of timing, here's a fascinating tool in the professional arsenal. Capturing a property at sunset or twilight isn't just a pretty, artistic choice. It actively triples your physical showing requests compared to standard exterior daytime shots. 3 times the showings. 74% of real estate agents are catching on to this and are interested in or already using sunset photography because it creates such a profound, undeniable emotional hook for the buyer. This is a principle we just cannot ignore. Every poorly photographed listing is a missed opportunity, but every beautifully lit, professionally shot listing is a public demonstration of your personal brand and your standard of care. The best realtors in Chicagoland treat every single listing like it is their own brand on the line, because quite frankly, it is. Professional photography is not a luxury service reserved just for luxury homes anymore. It is the absolute baseline standard for doing business. As we look at the tightening inventory and recognize that the Illinois housing market is projecting median prices to hit $272,800 by the end of 2026, which is a 12% increase from the previous year, by the way, you have to ask yourself a hard question. Are you truly doing everything to capture today's highly informed buyer? They have Zillow, they have Instagram, they absolutely know what a well-presented home looks like. If you're still using a smartphone or having a client's relative take the pictures, you are actively leaving thousands of dollars on the table. Section 4. Meet Ogi Optics, your Chicagoland media partner. If you want the solution to instantly elevate your brand, win more of those bidding wars we talked about, and secure more listings, I want to introduce you to Ogi Optics. They are a BBB-accredited real estate media company based right here in Chicagoland, founded by Josh Ogiba. Ogi Optics provides a complete, modern suite of media services. We're talking professional listing photography with that crucial HDR editing, cinematic video, breathtaking drone footage, virtual staging, and even social media content and podcast production. Every single shoot they execute is designed with one unwavering goal: to create media that doesn't just document your property, but actually sells it. If you want to bridge the gap and truly leverage the power of visual storytelling, you've got to check them out at ogioptics.com or on Instagram at @ogioptics. I'll leave you with this final thought. Knowing that 85% of buyers have already judged your value before they ever read a single word you wrote, are you ready to stop losing clients to poor presentation and finally set the standard in Chicagoland real estate?